some of the questions already come in, and thank you for subscribing. I mean, wow. It just does my heart good to know that there are that many people with low standards and high tolerance for pain and without much else to do, and I thought I was the only one, but my spiritual gift is sitting still and doing nothing at all, and I love to exercise that all the time. We're going to learn to strum because several of you are asking, how do you strum? Well, that really surprised me because when I was learning the guitar, that's all anybody did. And I was dead bored. And that's one of the reasons. That, and also I don't like the sound of my own voice. So when I was singing, I wanted the guitar to do all of it for me. And so I started with those patterns. And then it was much later that I ended up playing for some singers, and they required strums. How do you do it? Well, this is how to play guitar my way, which doesn't mean it's the smart way or the good way. It's just the way I did it. I don't use a pick. Using a pick is lovely, great, and there are some things, Doc Watson, Stephen Kaufman, you cannot do without a flat pick. And you're going to need just to go, they come in thin, medium, and thick, and all of there's no legal definition, so they actually all sound different when you try them. When you really need to borrow all kinds of different guitar picks and see if you like them, all right? It'll really give you a lot more volume if you do, but I didn't do it because I learned on a 12-string. You remember that from the very first lesson. And the 12-string, when I was trying to do guitar, it would keep catching in one of those high octaves and sometimes fly across the room and injure people. And ever since the pub house slaughter of August 1986, I'm not allowed to do that anymore. So what do? Well, Tommy Emmanuel uses a thumb pick, and he insists that you put a thumb pick on here. If you don't like Tommy Emmanuel, well, then you're a bad person, because Tommy Emmanuel is a world-class, amazing guitarist, and he's also an amazing gentleman and a great man. So start liking him. If you don't know Tommy Emmanuel, it's Emmanuel with an E. Look him up on YouTube, and you'll never come back here again. You'll say, that idiot knows nothing. You are correct. Tommy knows it all. I don't use a thumb pick because they always felt really tight on my thumb, and I kept thinking, I'm strangling my thumb, and I kept getting it caught. So I play 6 strings now. So now I use a pick. No, I don't. I just don't. So how do I get this amazing sound? Hand. The back of your fingers are the down. Yeah. The back of the thumb is the up. Back of the thumb. People do this all the time. They make this mistake of thinking, beginners. You have to do that with the thumb. You're going to tear that thing to pieces. You better get a pick, because you cannot do this. Instead, notice it's like flinging water off your hand. Really, it should be that loose. And if you find yourself getting really tight and you're missing it, or even just go get water. You don't have to imagine it. And flick it off your hand. By the way, guitar this time is not a Taylor. This is a Gallagher. And Gallaghers were made by 3 generations of the same family. Oddly enough, named Gallagher. In a tiny little hamlet in Middle Tennessee called Wartrace. They were recently sold by the latest iteration of Gallagher's, the 3rd generation, as he got to a point where he wanted to do other things, and that's fine. I'm not knocking him at all. And it was sold evidently to an incredible gentleman over in Murfreesboro. I've not gone to meet him yet, but he has promised to keep Gallagher alive and just like it is. Doc Watson loved these. That's why his name is right there in Mother of Pearl. This is a Doc Watson special edition. They're handmade. They're really beautiful, wonderful guitars, and they're hard to find. If you're wondering, how in the world did I get mine? I will let you know as soon as the legal matters it was given to me by a friend. Doc said it rings like a bell, and it does. So I'm going to do GCD. Remember? 1, 3, and 4. And show you. I just want you to watch this hand, all right? And watch how it's just easy. master, but I'll never be able to do that. Well, thanks, but you can. But you don't need to start that. You've got a couple patterns already, all right? Let's give you this one. It's just called the boom chuck. You will be able to spot out, you'll be able to spot why it's called that very quickly. Now, remember, I'm putting an extra bass on my C. And if you don't, you're going to need to have some pretty good aim. I put the bass up there. O and a D, but don't do, nope, unless you hook. But the boom chuck is just so many songs do that. And those that don't do boom chuck chuck. These are very technical. You might want to write these down. There might be a quiz later. You know, the teacher in 4th period, it'd be just like him to do that. That's pretty cool, actually. There's nothing wrong with strumming. And you can get intricate patterns of strum, and those are brilliant. But please remember, almost all bluegrass, most country, not really all the pop country, but classic country certainly, folk songs, Americana, it's going to either, or it's going to be, this is called waltz time. And you can see why. It's just a lovely little way to strum. So, you have your tuner, you got your capo, you have 2 patterns, and you have 2 patterns. That's enough for this one. We'll see you next time when who knows what dangerous and maybe illegal thing we do.